sometimes when I think about it, it makes me mad inside. I see the waste and the things we break and the countless others dying. And if we talk, then we wouldn't have allowed it to take hold of our lives. So I for one gonna stand and shout it, I ain't gonna take your lives.
So quite clearly, Dave, what we're saying here is that there is a way forward. I mean, obviously the law's been sorted out fairly clearly, but obviously now there's a problem. I would just like to point out with the financial systems right now, going up and down, this crashing in business. Now, what I've worked out through my my investigation into numbers is that this thing called natural logarithm. Now, natural logarithm is like a curvature to which, let's say I get a pile of sand and I make a pile of sand and I pour a pile of sand on the table. You see, and there'll be like a curvature towards that side of that pile, and then another curvature going down. Now, something that's called the natural logarithm. You can see it like that, very simple. And there's kind of like a basic form in nature, shall we say, of growth. Now, obviously, they've got this thing about growth, haven't they? Now, in the system. Now, basically, in the system, what you get is you get this number called capital E, and this, no, sorry, that's capital, it's just number E. That's the one. Now, this is a very important number because what you see, it sort of slowly increases and gives the elite more and more money. Through usury. Now, basically, there is an alternative to this number called the number capital C. Now, that is the other side of the curvature which goes down. Now, this could be sort of like, in a way...
Is this linked to Einstein's E equals mc squared? Or are we talking about different?
Well, I would say more about universal balance in its most simplistic form. In other words, what goes up must come down.
Right, okay.
And actually, if there's a logarithm going up, say, like this, then at some point there's going to have to be a logarithm coming down like that. Hence a collapse. Now, what might happen is that the collapses in the financial system happen rather abruptly, right? So they don't have this kind of natural decay. What they have is a kind of abruptness. Yeah. So you could look at that as a kind of a triangle wave. Do you know what I mean? Very, very kind of abrasive on the ear. Now, what happens then is that basically, obviously, the poor get poorer and the rich get richer. And the reason is because basically, if you get that pile of sand and you cut it with your hand, right, and then you just move that pile of sand to one side. There'll still be a pile here and a pile here, right, yeah? But the pile looks smaller. So really that's what we call inflation in a way. So those people then just pocket half pile of sand and wait for the next curvature to build up and then cut it again. And you can see how it all happens. So in order to sort of balance this thing, they've got this thing called quantitative easing. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, quantitative easing, which basically is just rolling the printing presses to print some more notes.
Yeah, so it's basically...
Now, why the government can't do that themselves is a mystery to me because...
of course they can do it themselves.
Yeah, but what we have at the moment is the Bank of England does that and charges interest.
Yes, private corporation makes loads of money.
So
the rich
we don't need that function. That's another thing about the banks. You take the banks entirely out of the equation.
Iceland.
Because it has absolutely nothing to do with the actual function of delivering foods and goods to us.
That's it. Iceland
It's all about ripping that off. It's all about taking money out of that process.
Yeah, I think we should follow Iceland, really, shouldn't we?
Well, of course, yeah. I mean, sometimes, obviously Jesus Christ, but sometimes I feel like saying hanging's too good for the bankers.
No, not just salvation. Which is why I actually come up with a plan called...
all men can repent. All men can repent. Every banker.
Yeah. Now, obviously, with the repenting, obviously, there's also a thing like an actual plan. Yeah. So actually, I did come up with an idea called harmonic economy, which actually was based on a few of the ideas that we were having, Dave. And it's based on vortex economy, I call it. Now, I do go into it in quite detail. I can't bother here, but it's online and there is the documentation. And if they want to know about it, they can just contact us.
Yeah. And my other form of economy is just basic trading. You get out of the system, you trade with each other.
Well, that's the alternative.
And that's the natural thing. I've lived on EK villages. They started. And trade is the natural thing. There's no. As a village develops, one man grows something, some man keeps chickens, he thinks I'd like some eggs, so I'll give him some of my wheat, and it goes from there and expands out. That's natural process. There is no money there, and there is no bank there. Those are natural processes under natural law, and in the Bible there is... from Jesus Christ, a cautious embrace of what you might call capitalism, but micro-capitalism. The idea that if a man needs some tools or needs money for some sort of training, you kind of lend it to him, but you kind of give it to him. And if in the fullness of time he's got enough money, he can then pay you back. But that's why you do it. You give the money with the expectation of no return at all.
Exactly.
And then obviously this man, he might become a multi-millionaire. You might think, well, you gave that investment, here's a lot of money. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Now that's a great. And I've got similar models.
But that is not corporate. That's the point.
I call it green lending. In other words, I'm going to lend you this. It could be time, could be effort, could be anything. But I'm not expecting anything back. But if it comes back, well, just remember me.
Yeah, exactly. Just share alike. Yeah, exactly.
Now, obviously,
so this is spiritual small-scale capitalism, basically. And how much better that is than what the left are proposing, which is just more and more state intervention and everything.
I also quite like donations as well. I do appreciate donations. I live off a lot of time off donations with people. Just like.
Oh, same here.
I do like my music or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Donate, give them a CD occasionally. I'll put all my music up online. And you can listen to it all online for free, obviously. Yeah? but you can also donate 40 pence and get one. Do you know what I mean? So I thought it's not too expensive, is it?
No,
It's only
exactly,
temporary stuff. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, anyway, not that I really care about money at all. But the point is, at the end of the day, I think basically money's got us into this mess, and money can get us out of it. Now that's about energy, because energy is actually just used with love. Is actually not a bad thing. So like you said, there's the natural way, which is actually unavoidable. That's the way it's going to go, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Now it's just a question of actually how do we want to get there? Do you know what I mean, the pathway? Now, obviously, there's kind of smooth transition, which is the salvation of everyone, which would be quite cool. But obviously, if these guys really want to go to hell, they want to go to hell. I don't care. Anyway, if they don't and they decide they want to come on board, we do have the plans called Harmonic Economy. They can chat to me and you about all that because we've got it all. So it's fair enough, really. So I think that's all the solutions there to the financial problem.
Yeah, and obviously one thing I haven't mentioned, of course, is hemp. Once you grow hemp, you've got your energy, you've got your food.
Yeah.
You've got your medicine, basically.
Yeah, damn in there.
And don't let anybody tell you any different. Cannabis is God's medicine.
Yeah.
Because it's God's medicine, it's the most effective medicine on the planet. It's the only proven antiviral.
Good.
It's antibiotic. It's antiseptic. Cannabis oil cures cancer, basically.
Uh-huh.
Again, it's the cheapest way of doing it. We don't need all this research. The cancer industry is the biggest Zionist scam that's ever been created.
Luckily, we've got people we've got a whole specialist team to deal with that as well. So
this is it. We've got good old Dr. Stephen Hopwood.
Yeah, that's it. We'll get him on board. Now, he'll be coming up soon. Now, basically, just to finish off, so basically, we do have all the solutions to all of humanity's problems, basically. We're just sat here, no money, just sat here, just talking to a camera, and that's the only problem. All we've got to do is get a few people to actually get off their arse and want to get involved. I mean, people talk about they want to end war. Well, it's very clear how to do it. Do you know what I mean? Just have a Swords, Ploughshares Initiative and a Stable State Governance Plan. Very clear. Now, on top of that, Dave, also we have the Messiah here. Yeah, obviously, right?
Yeah, and a very interesting.
I'm the Dark Lord.
You use the phrase "turn your swords into ploughshares," and that is actually the dedication on the front page of the second part of the Third and Final Testament. Bang. It's a passage prophesied by Isaiah in the end times. You turn your swords into ploughshares.
Okay, good. Well, I'm glad that we've got that plan underway, and it's actually written up by a mate called the Raven. So that's very prophetic. Do you know what I mean?
Right, fantastic.
And he's got it all down there because the Raven's cool. You can speak their language. Do you know what I mean? Which is good. Now, the thing is, obviously, that means that we can just have a bit more fun, Dave. Now, I've got a plan about the party to the end of the world, so we'll get on to that in quite shortly. Once these people start to realise and wake up, and we get a few more people on board. It's just you and I, really, isn't it? It's just you and I now. I mean, it's just you and I. Who else is it? It's just you and me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. There's other people.
There's other people there. We'll get it going, Dave. Don't worry.
I think
start to wake up.
The party at the end of the world has got to be the one, hasn't it? Really.
Well,
party to the end of time.
I've already started it with my election plan. We'll talk about that next.
You don't have to wait to love someone. Reach out into space and touch someone. You don't have to wait to love someone. Reach out into space and touch someone.